Hello everyone and welcome back to 4B's English lesson video. My name is Richard and today we're going to talk about IELTS. Do you know what IELTS is? We have a special guest, Jessica, from All Ears English. And she's an expert and well-renowned trainer in the field of IELTS. And she's going to talk about what IELTS is. So let's hear from Jessica.
Hello everyone, my name is Jessica Beck and today I am going to tell you about the IELTS exam. What is it? How do I know about it? And how can you prepare for success? So guys, I know in Japan that a lot of people take TOEFL. How is TOEFL different than IELTS? Well, there are quite a few differences. So TOEFL is made by the American testing service, while IELTS is made by British Council and Australian IDP. Now, many people take them for the same reasons, to go to university. However, more universities around the world accept IELTS than TOEFL. So there's that. And also, IELTS has two different kinds of exams for different purposes. So IELTS Academic is, of course, to go to university, but there's also the IELTS General Training Test, and people take that if they want to immigrate to English-speaking countries, okay? Now, IELTS stands for the International English Language Testing System. And I know all about it because I was an IELTS examiner for 14 years. I have also been teaching IELTS for 16 plus years at this point. So guys, I know everything there is to know about IELTS by now. And honestly, in my opinion, IELTS is more straightforward than TOEFL, okay? So that means it is more clear to study for IELTS. So there are still 4 sections: listening, reading, writing, and speaking, okay? But the listening is just listening, right? You listen to one person or 2 people talk while you answer questions. And reading as well. You read 3 passages, more passages in the general training, and you answer questions. Writing is 2 essays, okay? This is another difference between the general training and the academic test. Task 1 for general training is a letter you have to write, whereas for the academic test, you have to usually describe a graph, so very different. Task 2 though, it's the same, a 4-paragraph academic essay, okay? So TOEFL writing is a little bit different because sometimes you have to read or listen to something as well as write. So it's more complicated. IELTS is just easier to understand. I'm not saying it's an easier test, but it is more straightforward and I think easier to prepare for. Now, the biggest difference between IELTS and TOEFL is, of course, the speaking. So for IELTS, you speak to a real person like me. Remember, I was an IELTS examiner. So you speak face-to-face with a person, a real person, on the speaking test. As you may know, on TOEFL, you don't get to talk to a person. You talk to a computer. And that's weird. It's not like real life. It's harder to do well in that circumstance. So that's another reason why I think preparing for IELTS is a little bit easier. But again, it's not an easy exam, okay? So guys, what kind of scores do people get on IELTS? Well, the highest score is a 9. That means you are the smartest, most perfect English speaker. And honestly, guys, even some native speakers don't get 9s, okay? This is what I mean. It is not an easy exam. There are very specific things that you need to know and do on IELTS in order to get a high score. So Most students want to get a 7 or higher on IELTS. That is often the minimum required score for many universities and governments that you want to, the governments of countries that you want to immigrate to. So that's why teachers of IELTS, we always talk about a magic 7 because that's like the goal. Now, getting past a 7 on IELTS is a little bit tricky. Let's take reading as one example, okay, of why it's tricky. So you have 1 hour on the reading test, okay? For the academic test, you have to read 3 passages and answer 40 questions. Guys, 1 hour is not enough to read every single word and answer all the questions. So this is one reason why strategies are so necessary if you want to do well on IELTS. And you know what? A lot of our students have actually gotten 9s on IELTS reading. Guys, it's all about a solid system of strategies, okay? Now, I'm gonna give you the overall biggest secret to getting a 7 or higher: balanced practice. So the mistake that a lot of students make is when they're preparing for IELTS, they just do practice tests. Maybe they get a textbook and they learn some strategies and they just do practice tests. Guys, that will not get you a 7 or higher, okay? If you want to do really well on the IELTS exam, you have to improve your overall English and learn solid strategies and practice them, okay? So that's why when students come to us, we give them a study plan, a prepared, detailed study plan, because every day, guys, you need to be improving your overall fluency as well as learning all of these IELTS skills. So balance is key, you guys. You can't just do tons of practice tests and hope to improve. You cannot do that. So guys, if you do have to take the IELTS exam, make sure that you are preparing in a smart way, that you're learning a solid system of strategies, okay? Now, one more thing about IELTS is there's another difference besides just academic and general. These days, you can often choose to take the paper delivered version or the computer delivered version. The computer delivered version is newer, so not all test centers offer it, and it is very difficult to find practice for the computer delivered IELTS. But you know what, guys? We are the only ones with a full course dedicated just to the computer delivered IELTS. Guys, I actually took the computer delivered IELTS exam. I traveled up to Canada and I took the test so I could test out all of our strategies and make sure they work. Guys, everything in our system is geared towards getting you that 7 or higher, and it is all based on my 14 years of examiner experience. So guys, if you want more information about IELTS or general fluency or business English, we have all of these materials at All Ears English. So check out our website, allearsenglish.com. And here is the coolest thing, guys. You can take a free quiz that we made and get your estimated IELTS band score right now for free and get free resources based on the score you get. It's so cool, guys. It's a short, free quiz. It's online. Why not? Why not take it and see what you would get on IELTS if you took the exam today? So guys, you can check that out for free. Go to allearsenglish.com/IELTS quiz. And remember, check out our website, allearsenglish.com. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video about IELTS, and best of luck with your goals.
Thank you, Jessica. So if you want to know more about IELTS, please check out their website, allearsenglish.com. They also have a popular podcast and YouTube channel, which you can see in the description below. My name is Richard. Remember to please click like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.